they have scored a significant victory here. It's actually a double precedent for Israel, and a doubly dangerous precedent for Israel. It's the first time, to my knowledge, that the Congress has turned down a military aid package to Israel of any size. But it's the first time, certainly, that they've ever turned down a military aid package on a defensive system. There have been attempts to sort of condition American aid to Israel with regard to offensive systems, but never in regard to defensive systems. And here it's very important to point out that for the pro-Palestinian Congress members, this victory is very Pyrrhic, because while Iron Dome probably saves hundreds of Israeli lives, it saves thousands of Palestinian lives. Now, without Iron Dome, Israel, under a barrage of Hamas rockets, would have to invade Gaza, with thousands of Palestinians killed. So Iron Dome saves thousands of Palestinian lives, actually prevents large-scale wars. It's certainly what they call a self-inflicted wound or goal, a Pyrrhic victory on the part of these Congress members, because they can. Because the progressive wing of the Democratic Party was very small and not so powerful during the Obama years. It was afraid of taking on President Obama. Now that wing is significantly larger and more powerful and not afraid of taking on anyone.
Only yesterday, hours before this issue in Congress, President Biden affirmed that support for Israel's security is unwavering. Let's listen to his remarks at the UN.
The commitment of the United States to Israel's security is without question. And our support for an independent Jewish state is unequivocal. But I continue to believe that a two-state solution is the best way to ensure Israel's future as a Jewish democratic state, living in peace alongside a viable, sovereign, and democratic Palestinian state. We're a long way from that goal at this moment, but we must never allow ourselves to give up on the possibility of progress.
Dr. Oren, now it's Biden's own party questioning that commitment. Again, as we talked about, not regarding sales of weapons or fighter jets, but a purely defensive rocket shooting down system. What does this mean for the future of the Democratic Party? And do you think this is something President Biden himself will have to address?
Oh, certainly. And I think this is the beginning of the process, not the end of the process. I'm sure that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party will recognize that this is a significant victory, and they will move to expand that victory and to further frustrate attempts by the Biden administration and by the overwhelming majority of Democrats who continue to support the state of Israel and support a robust and unshakable alliance between the United States and Israel. The progressive wing will make its interests and its victory known in the future. And I tell you, Jeff, it's not just the President Biden who's going to have to deal with this. The state of Israel is going to have to deal with this. It's the time that we actually looked at this victory by the progressives as sort of a warning shot, a shot across our prow, and a harbinger of things to come. And we should be rethinking the way we receive aid from the United States. What's the nature of that aid in the future? The aid package signed by President Obama in 2016 will expire in another 5 years. That's not a long time. We should be thinking about that right now.
Dr. Oren, House Democrats, mainstream party leaders, they're trying to spin this today as a technical delay, that they note the Iron Dome funding probably shouldn't have been in this particular bill at that particular time. It was maybe a way to curry favor with Republicans, but it's now being moved to a separate standalone bill where it will certainly pass. Are you buying that argument that it was just more technical wonkishness that led to this issue and not a movement of the party as a whole?
Yeah, but it's not black and white, Jeff. The answer to both questions is yes. Yes, it was a technical glitch. Yeah, it was a attempt to curry favor with Republicans that didn't quite succeed because it enabled those anti-Israel progressives to gain this victory. But it's also a significant victory for that wing. And we can't overlook that. We can't sort of downplay it, diminish it, poo-poo it. It is what it is. And both within the Biden administration and within the Israeli leadership, we're going to have to acknowledge this, and we're going to have to recalibrate our thinking accordingly.
Dr. Michael Oren, sir, thank you so much for your time and your analysis on this story that will have big ramifications in America and American politics and also here in Israel. Great to have you on Zoom In.
Good to be with you. Good day.